Julia Gillard.
When will the people get a say?
Did you finally, in deciding to take this move, were you moving from the position that you believed Labor was unelectable under Kevin Rudd's leadership?
Well, I think I've made clear my reasons for taking this position. I came to the view that a good government was losing its way. I came to the view that for the Australian nation, I had a responsibility to step up, to take control, and to make sure that this government got back on track. And I believe too, I've got a responsibility to make sure that at the next election, Labor is there at its strongest, putting its case as to why the Australian people cannot and should not risk the opposition's cuts to health and education and a return to work choices.
When will the people get a say on this?
Well, as I've indicated, obviously in the coming months I will go to the Governor-General and I will ask that she call the election. But in the time in between, I'm asking the Australian people for their consideration and support to achieve the things that I have outlined today.
So no early election,
And to run a good and stable government focused on the needs of the Australian people.
Ms. Julia Gillard, what do you have?
I'll come back through, I'll go Bill and then Andrew and then Patricia.
Ms. Gillard, one policy you didn't mention was asylum seekers. Are you going to shift the party to the right on that? And secondly, do you envisage a role for Mr Rudd in the ministry?
Well, Mr Rudd, Kevin, has obviously indicated publicly and he has indicated to me privately that he sees a future for himself in the Federal Parliamentary Labor Party. When I spoke in this room not many hours ago at our caucus meeting, I said I believed Kevin Rudd had a great future in the Labor Party and in the Federal Parliamentary Caucus if he wanted one. Now, of course, we will have those discussions. Today is obviously a difficult day for Kevin, for his family, so he will probably choose to spend some time with his family, and there are plenty of times for those discussions.
Asylum seekers?
On the question of asylum seekers, can I say this? I can understand that Australians are disturbed when they see boats arrive on our shores unannounced. I can understand that Australians are disturbed by that. I can understand that sense of anxiety. This country is a sanctuary. It's our home. So we've got a responsibility to manage our borders and manage the question of asylum seekers in the best possible way. I've got no truck at all with elevating and fear-mongering about a problem for political advantage, which is what I believe the opposition is seeking to do. But I am full of understanding of the perspective of the Australian people that they want strong management of our borders, and I will provide it. Yes,
Ms. Gillard, on the mining tax, it's caused Labor all sorts of troubles in the resources state, WA and Queensland in particular. You talk about the move towards negotiation rather than just consultation. What are the key parameters under which you will be negotiating, and do you hope to have this resolved before the election?
Well, look, I'm not going to go through parameters today. What I am saying, and it's a genuine offer, is the door of this government is open. On opening that door, I'm asking the mining industry to open its mind. I believe that Australians are entitled to a fairer share of the mineral wealth that is in our ground and belongs to all of us. We will negotiate through with the mining industry. And I do believe that there is a consensus emerging that Australians are entitled to that fairer share and that the mining industry can pay more tax. Building on that consensus, we will have those negotiations.
Prime Minister,
I said I'd go to Patricia and then I'll come back.
Ms. Gillard, do you think the money that was going to be spent on the mining ads was a waste, and would you argue against that spending in Cabinet? And also, were you saying that the doors on the mining tax have been closed?
Well, can I say, Patricia, I'm not going to canvass back through earlier Cabinet discussions, but I'm going to say this loud and clearly. I take my fair share of the responsibility for the decisions of the government, absolutely. What I have decided today as incoming Prime Minister is I will order the taking of whatever steps are necessary to remove that government advertising as quickly as possible. And in an exercise of respect, I'm asking the mining industry to do the same with its ad campaign.
On the mining
I said I'd go here and then I'll I'll go here and then I'll come back to it, yes.
With the opening the doors to the industry, does that mean everything is on the table, including the 40% rate of taxation?
Look, I'm not going to canvass through framework questions here. Today, I'm indicating a very clear predisposition to the mining industry about the best way forward. I'm there, throwing the door of government open. I'm inviting the mining industry to walk through that door. Yes, Michael, and then I'll go to Michelle.
Aside from the mining tax, why and how did Kevin Rudd lose his way, and what will you be doing differently to address that?
Well, look, I think that this has been a good government, but I do believe we have lost our way. I believe that we have, on a set of issues, and I have canvassed some of them today, not delivered the kind of stability and certainty and good management that Australians would see. I also believe that it's important, if you lead a team, to rely on the collective efforts of the team. We are all enhanced by working in a team together. So it is my intention, as Prime Minister, to lead a government that draws on the best efforts of my Cabinet and ministerial colleagues, on the best efforts of each member of our parliamentary executive, and the best efforts of each member of our caucus, to ensure that our government is on track, doing what Australians expect us to do, providing decent services, protecting their jobs, and ensuring that they've got decent treatment and fairness when they perform those jobs.
Ms Gillard, you obviously didn't just come to this realisation the government was losing its way yesterday. Can you explain to us your categorical denials that you wouldn't seek the leadership? And secondly, what are you going to do about the G20?
I'm inviting my colleague Swan to attend the G20 on the nation's behalf, and I believe he has accepted my invitation to do that.
I'm leaving tomorrow.
And you deny?
On the question of how I came to my decision, I have been Kevin Rudd's deputy. I have done everything I believe I could do as deputy to express the concerns I'm expressing now, and on the inside of the government to do what was necessary to get the government back on track. But I obviously formed the view that I could not perform that role from the position as deputy, that it was necessary for me to take this step, and I acknowledge